'cause I think I'm falling in love. I think I'm falling in love. I think I'm falling in love. Ooh, and I'm feeling love.
Good morning. Welcome to today's video, guys. I didn't film my breakfast for once, actually, which is unlike me, but I've been doing like a really simple breakfast because I've only been like having 20 minutes in between the time that I eat my breakfast and the time that I get to the gym. So I've just been doing 2 eggs over easy with oatmeal, and then I've just been adding extra vegetables into my protein shake and lunch and dinner, because usually I would have a ton of veggies in my breakfast, but I find that like all the fiber and it's just like really filling, so I would take a much longer time to digest it. Anyways, here at the gym now, I don't know if I've given you guys an update, but I have a grade 2 strain in my hip flexor, which isn't the end of the world because it's not a tear and it's not a labrum issue or anything like that, but I am not able to like squat or do any type of weight bearing activity on it. So today is mostly going to be like shoulder push press stuff. I think I have like a long 25-minute workout that has like time intervals, so we'll see, but I just wanted to say good morning, welcome to today's video, and I hope you guys enjoy. From the gym, I'm about to make my infamous protein shake. You guys have already seen this recipe 100 times. I don't feel like I need to do it step by step. I will just briefly go over it. Actually, I'll pop a little thing right here so you guys can see. But then I would like to make a ground beef protein pasta dish with some low sodium tomato basil paste. And I made this last Sunday just to test it out, and it was so good. So I want to do it again. I'm going to give the recipe to you guys. So that's what I'm going to do now. And then I will shower and get changed and have to run a couple errands. So that's that, and I'm starving. Don't put your spoon too far in the blender. Then this happens and then protein shake explodes everywhere. Whoops! So good though. Okay, so these are the 2 pastas that I got. This one is this Hodgson Mill vegetable pasta. It's beet, spinach, tomato, and natural. And for 2 ounces, which is 56 grams dry, pasta always gets weighed dry, 1 gram of fat, 41 carb, and 8 grams of protein. Then comparing that to the Barilla Protein Plus pasta, which I'm pretty sure you can find this anywhere, like Target, Publix, whatever. 2 ounces, 56 grams dry, 2 grams of fat, 38 carb, and 10 grams of protein. So both have a decent amount of protein. And then this is the low sodium tomato basil that I'm gonna use. I'm not really a huge fan of this. Like, I prefer my mom's homemade. You really don't need too much of this in order to make it taste good, because the macros for 125 grams, which is a lot of this. I usually only use like 50 grams. It's 4.5 fat, 7 carb, and 1 protein. So really not too much, but that's what we're gonna make today, so let's do it. that I'm gonna use is my usual Publix lean ground beef. Now, because the pasta already has a ton of protein in it, I'm only gonna use 3 ounces of this as opposed to my usual serving of 4. 56 grams. I'm also gonna throw in a serving of these little peas from Whole Foods just because I want to have more veggies in this dish and it will make it more filling. While the water's boiling, we're gonna go and add the pasta. And then I'm just gonna do the entire thing all over again, but with the veggie pasta, and we're just gonna see which one tastes better. Here are the final dishes. I forgot to put peas in that one, but whatever. So I'm gonna taste one of these. It doesn't really taste like anything. I'm gonna try the spinach one. Yeah, it's not bad. I do prefer the Barilla one though. I think it's more real tasting. So this is the meal that I made the other day. This is a tricolored quinoa, burnt broccoli, and excuse me, chicken. But I got hungry as I was making that, so I'm gonna eat this now for lunch. So, as I'm eating my lunch, I wanted to kind of like answer some very common questions that I get from either my clients or just like people on Instagram or YouTube about nutrition. A lot of people ask me, Manders, does it matter how many meals I eat per day? Can I eat like 6 small meals or 3 huge meals? Is one of them gonna be better for fat loss? The answer is neither makes a difference as long as your calorie balance is where you want it to be. And what I mean by that is if you are trying to lose fat, you're in a caloric deficit. And if you're trying to gain muscle, you're in a caloric surplus. At the end of the 24-hour period that your body is metabolizing, if you are taking in less calories than you're burning, you'll be in a deficit. So you can split that up however you'd like. It doesn't have to be 6 small meals. It doesn't have to be 3 big meals. It seriously doesn't matter. Don't overcomplicate it. I'm going off of like messages in my inbox right now. Second, people ask me what my opinion is on keto. My honest opinion, especially for like athletes and people who work out, is that it's not gonna be sustainable for long term. The reason why is because you're never gonna be able to eat little to no carbs forever. That's a long time to commit to something like that. I always recommend when people are starting and they're just trying to be healthier, don't commit to like an extreme diet. You wanna do something that's gonna be sustainable for long term, not just for 4 weeks, not like a 60-day transformation or something that's very restrictive. I just don't find that that's a positive balance between, you know, like being healthy, still enjoying yourself, not restricting. I don't personally like keto unless you have a medical issue that requires you to eat that way. Other than that, for the general public, I don't think it's necessary. Another good question is, how close should you be attempting to get to your macros? I'd say if you're a beginner, I always tell my clients around 10 grams for protein and carbs and around 5 grams for fat. Obviously, fat has more calories per gram than carbs and protein does, so that's why I try to shrink the room for error there with fat. But as you become more experienced with tracking macros and you've been doing it for a long time, it will be easier and eventually you'll be able to hit your macros within 3 to 5 grams of each. Another thing that you can do, which has happened to me plenty of times, if I go over my carbs by 5 grams and I'm under my protein by 5, I just leave it as is and I don't worry about it because they're both the same amount of calories and I'm not gonna worry about eating 5 grams of carbs. You know what I'm saying? That's just, or 5 grams of protein. That's just not necessary. And lastly, people always ask me, why is MyFitnessPal saying that I hit my macros but not my calories, or the calories are wrong and the macros are right? Something along those lines, right? I usually tell people it's one of 2 things, and the first thing would be that you've picked something in MyFitnessPal and logged it that's completely incorrect. And remember that the entries in MyFitnessPal are entered by humans. So a lot of times people will enter things that are totally wrong. And what I mean by that is like picking a blueberry muffin from Starbucks, which I think has like 56 grams of carbs, and the entry that you chose has the right amount of calories, but when you look at the nutrition label, it has 0, like 0 grams of fat, 0 carbs, and 0 protein. And that just means that somebody only inputted the calories and not the macros. This can be tricky tricky if you don't know what's in the thing you're eating, because sometimes that can happen with not necessarily zeros, but it can be with, like, for example, they put the right amount of calories but the macros were off. Something like that, where you wouldn't really notice unless you looked at the nutrition label. Or it's just because of the nutrition labels rounding up and down. The FDA can round up or down numbers, give or take, I think it's less than 5%. I posted a link to it somewhere on my Instagram before, but it just basically allows them to have an even number on the calories. So if you did the math on your own for something that had like 2 grams of fat, 10 grams of carbs, and 10 grams of protein, it would have 98 calories, but the FDA can round that up to 100 calories and offer it as a 100-calorie snack pack, something like that. So that's why your calories might not necessarily be correct, but you've hit your macros. And just focus on the macros, don't worry, because if you're hitting your macros, then you're hitting your calories. Okay. Now I have to head over to Ulta because I ran out of my shampoo and conditioner. But anyway, I figured that there is a drive-through Starbucks on the way, so I wanted to take you guys through. And I have been loving the cinnamon almond milk macchiato, but of course, you know, it is a little bit high in carbs and sugar because of the syrup and the caramel and everything. So I decided to try out a tall version with the sugar-free cinnamon dolce with light caramel drizzle. Way more macro friendly. Definitely tastes a little fake, and I know people are gonna give me shit for the sugar-free stuff, but it's still a good alternative. So we're gonna stop by for a mid-afternoon pick-me-up and then get my shampoo.
Hi, what can we get started for you?
Hi, can I please have a tall iced cinnamon almond milk macchiato, but can I have it with the sugar-free cinnamon dolce syrup?
Anything else?
Just light caramel drizzle, please.
You got it. Is that it for you?
That's it.
Okay, it's gonna be $4.72. We'll see you at the window.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Why is Starbucks so expensive for like 6 ounces of a drink? Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. That was definitely the fastest I've ever been in and out of Ulta, and I only bought what I needed to get. I am home, going to get this video uploaded, or edited and then uploaded. Yes, that is where I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little vlog style video, and I will see you in the next one. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!